How's it going, folks? I didn't think I'd have a garden update for you this week. My last 5G S10 phone packed it in last night for whatever reason. So luckily, Tim down at the local store was able to swap it over for me. So there wasn't any hassles with that. So yeah, I'm shooting a new clip for you because the last one is on the dud phone. So anyway, thought we'd start down the back for you folks who want a garden update. And then I'll finish off up in the house and give the other people who are interested in both a little bit of a gander of where we're up to. So I'll swap the camera around. So here's a bit of a look at the coffee. You probably saw over my shoulder there. She's doing spectacularly well. We have a load of fruit on there that are pretty much all right to come off. Some I've noticed have been eaten by something, but it doesn't look like they've actually got into the berries themselves, just the flesh on the outside. So this flesh, by the way, is nice and sweet. Bit of a cross between a plum and cherry, we thought last year. So we will be munching on these as we de-seed them. But we have a load on there, so that's something we're going to have to look at doing this week. There's a couple here that if I poke them hard enough, where are we? There we go. If I poke him hard enough, it might come off, so I might just leave him for a little bit later. Down the back here, a bit of an update. As you can see, the turmeric in this bed here has already started to die back. We found the turmeric is the first of the gingers to go. This ginger over here in the back corner is actually hanging on a lot longer than I thought. We're almost midway through winter here. So I don't know if it's because it's in a secluded or a sheltered position. I can see both types, the Cambodian style ginger and the normal ginger officinale is hanging on there. And it's just starting to rain. I can hear it around me. Over the back, that turmeric bed is dead, just for the cold weather, the same with the Egyptian spinach. But as you can see from the seed pods, we're going to have loads of Egyptian spinach popping up there. And the galangal, as always, is hanging on. It'll stay green all the way through winter. For some reason, these guys here are dying off a bit, but the rest of the bed looks okay. This turmeric barrel obviously isn't doing too crash hot just because of the weather. Down here, the bees are doing rather well. They've been busy most of the time. It's a little bit cooler today, and also the rain is probably keeping them inside. Down here, we have our little volunteer sunshine chili with a couple of chilies on it. As you can see, even through winter we can grow chilies and tomatoes and that sort of thing here. By the way, Steve, your dragon fruit is doing really well. It's stuck its roots into the black turmeric barrel, well, the root pouch garden there. So in there we got the black turmeric, which is dying off again due to the weather, and the mother sunshine chili plant. There is a little bit of a deficiency going on in this barrel, but I dare say that is, or root pouch I should say, I dare say that is due just to how vigorous everything grew this year. Plus the dragon fruit has probably sapped a bit of energy. I'll just take a little bit of a wander up here and show you that our Okinawan spinach is in bloom. So these guys here, they don't actually reproduce by throwing seeds or producing seeds, but they do have these little flowers. I did have someone say that they bought some seed from a specialty grower, but I'm not convinced that they actually will take. But yeah, the plant is very happy. Now the magpie moths have slowed down because it's a bit cooler. So all this stuff still does need to come out of here. Just show you the system from another angle. There's some hoe and knock pushing against the shade cover. That's cardamom, true cardamom in there. And our broad ripple yellow currant is producing loads of fruit at the moment. So probably should take a few of them off, and it's growing all the way up in front of the galangal. And the galangal as well is pushing through the top, and the tomato is too now, through the shade cloth. Just let you guys know who aren't aware, this isn't running as a true aquaponics system at the moment, and that's why you haven't seen a lot of aquaponic clips from me. I'd feel like a bit of a fraud if I was doing aquaponic clips without actually having a system on the go. So this system, you might be able to see where I've just dumped it before, is running on fish emulsion. So I'm putting about a cup of that into what was the fish tank every week. And then, it goes through the radial flow settler, which isn't really collecting much at the moment, and then into a moving bed bioreactor. So that's where the hopefully the bacteria will stay alive in there and feeding off any ammonia that's in there, and then out to the beds. Just give you a look at this tomato from the other side. So it's not doing too bad for just growing on fish emulsion. As you can see, it's growing all the way over to in front of these filter setups. So just to show you in here, this is what the moving bed bioreactor looks like at the moment. There's just an air stone down there, if the phone will focus on it. So it's doing its job. The idea is that when we move back home and I get enough time, I'll actually be dismantling all the grow beds. So if I can have the bioreactor still processing ammonia and keeping those bacteria happy, it means when I kickstart my system, it'll just fly out of the gate so much faster. So that's why I'm pretty much still running it this way. If I wanted to, I could just run it from the sump straight to the grow beds and that's it. But yeah, I thought I'd just leave it like this for the time being. Over to the pouch gardens. Steve also... That thunder's getting a little bit loud. Steve also wanted, that's a dragon fruit, Steve, by the way, wanted to know about how the root pouch garden was going. As you can see, these bananas aren't doing too well. A lot of that will be due to neglect, some of it due to the cool as well. I really haven't been feeding many of these plants up too much. The lemongrass has got a little bit here and there. Around the corner here, the blueberries, they're flowering. They did have a flowering event earlier on in the season, in winter, but nothing really came of it. I think it was just because I let these pouches dry out once too often, but we do have another flush, so hopefully we'll get something from them. So just in front of this tray we have another Egyptian spinach that's gone to seed. I've just left it in there. This is a Malabar chestnut. Again, due to the cold, it tends to not do so well. It'd probably help if it was in a larger pouch and probably fed up. We have some amaranth that's just dying back and looking pretty atrocious. Over the back is a native ginger, and we have another Cambodian ginger down the front here that's died off. The roots are still nice and plump. It's really starting to rain now. The ginger is pretty much all a dud this season. I just stuffed up and didn't maintain the garden as well as I should have. The pouch dried out once or twice. Another blueberry putting on a second flush of flowers, a lot of thunder, and that's more dead amaranth. I've just let it go to seed, so we're going to have a ton of red amaranth, Chinese red amaranth coming up. Over the back, the society garlic's doing okay. I've had a few issues with my papaya in the wicking barrel, but hopefully I'll do a clip on that once we move back in a couple of weeks. The moringa cuttings in the wicking barrel down the back there are doing okay. I can't access my compost pile anymore, so we've abandoned that for now. So one thing about this being a construction site is you get a lot of mud caked to your feet. So we're going to have to try and get some wood chips down as soon as we move in, just to cover up the soil. I'm pretty much looking at remediating all this area here with wood chips, and at some point in time we might end up with a few terraces. But yeah, there's so much just junk in the ground here. I really don't want to grow food directly in the ground. So as you can hear, that storm's getting a bit nasty, so we're going to head upstairs. Just to let you know, the Jarrah handrails are here for the decking, for the deck area, and also for the front stairs. We've got some leftover bits and pieces of timber that we can use for outside. Just to show you, we now have water. So we, got water, we got power. We could move in if we want to, but I don't think we are at this point in time. Downstairs, it's pretty much all just waiting for us to finish off the painting job. As you can see, the ceiling's still not done, and I'm using the old corner bench from our kitchen to make up a little bit of a corner bench out here, and there's going to be a clothes washing machine there. The toilet is finished. So down here, sorry, no it's not, I just need to do some gap filler along the top there, but it's all plumbed in. And we even have a funky toilet door lock. So that locks it, that unlocks it. Sorry if I'm getting too intimate, folks. And it's got a little push button here to open and close it. So yeah, thought that was pretty groovy. Still need to do some bits and pieces in there, obviously. The big news is we now have a stairwell. Just turn the foam light on to give you a better look. But the stairwell is in, and they've done all the little bit of architraves around the bottom. So we're pretty impressed with this. It's actually getting polished tomorrow. You might be able to see there's just some little craftwood panels there. They're just stapled in loosely just so we don't damage them. Got a nice timber handrail as well. We did have one issue with the stairs, just this being an old house. Obviously not everything is straight. So at the top here, there was a little bit of a gap between the top of the stairs and the wall. It was suggested we just use gap filler to fill it in. As you can see, we were able to fix the gap, and I'd love to take credit for it, But I've got a mate, a very helpful mate, Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. He popped around this morning and used some of the scrap timber just to make a little bit of timber inlay in there just to fill up that gap. Mark, by the way, builds guitars and has a shop online, so you can check it out down there. Ships worldwide. Apparently he's got one of the best ranges for cigar box guitars and that sort of thing. So thank you, Mark. You know, got to pay it forward. So he's fixed that up for us, and this tomorrow, as well as the floor up there, is all going to be polished by the floor polisher. So Rob, he'll be coming in sanding this, and then over the next couple of days he'll just be fixing it up. Oh, and they've also put the beading over the expansion joints there. Just into the kitchen, we got the ceramic tile underlay down. Again, thanks to Mark. Thank you very much, mate. He came around yesterday, and the pair of us with an impact driver each got all the sheets down. They're screwed because there is lino still underneath. If we were to do it any other way, it would have just been a pain in the butt to get the tiles on top. So we figured we'd just screw straight over the top. I do have to come through and just make sure all the edges are all down securely. So I have a phone call from Bianca. Hang on, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Just got a call from Bianca. You saw the deck and all that last week. We were going to oil it, but due to the rain, the end of it gets a little bit wet. So we decided just to leave it till next weekend. And Bianca also noticed that some wombat with a beard has put a couple of paint spots out there, so I actually need to sand them back before we do the deck. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. Hopefully the handrails will be in this coming week. They've got the tabs on there and the little post there, and as you saw, the handrails are downstairs. In here, finished painting in here, it's all done. The light fittings are in and the power's on, as you know, and we're ready pretty much to get all this sanded back and polished tomorrow. In here, this is what the old floorboards look like before we put carpet on them. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to match it up fairly close to the mixed species that is in there. It's all eucalypt. At the moment, what we're going to be doing, we've been doing some sanding and filling. What we're going to be doing this afternoon is putting some undercoat on the walls. We had a few issues with the plaster, if you saw the last clip. So what I've done is I've sanded it back and then put a few screws in just to secure where the sheets join. And yeah, get some undercoat on here and we'll worry about the top coat later. We just figured we'd like to get this done before the floor's polished. Yeah, so that's pretty much all it. The hallway's getting done as well. There's our eldest's old bedroom door. Yeah, so pretty chuffed about that. All this hallway too. Oh, the bathroom. The bathroom's pretty much all done. We've sealed on the top of the tiles. We've got our glass in. So we've got a glass sheet. We just need to put the fixtures in, a couple of little shelves in there, soap holder, and the cabinet, which is sitting down there. Oh, and also too, we forgot to buy a toilet roll holder. So we went out and bought them and some towel holders the other day. So yeah, pretty chuffed it's all come together. Oh, and obviously we need to undercoat the old hallway wall as well. So there you go, folks. I hope that satisfied you guys on YouTube that wanted a garden update but not a renos one, and you folks on Facebook that wanted a renos update but would also love a garden one as well. Wow, that was a big flash of lightning. Anyway, I will pretty much leave it there. I've got to get into undercoating. Sanding's on the brain. But anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you again to all you marvellous supporters over on Subscribestar, also on the YouTube member site, and you few folks who are supporting us elseways through PayPal. Thank you very much. Super contributors, please check out their links down below to their websites and Facebook pages and whatnot. Show them some love for me, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I will catch you folks next week, hopefully. Cheers all.